Hello and welcome to the Home Care Millionaire Podcast, the show where compassion meets prosperity. I am Paul Tembande alongside my beautiful wife Joan here. We're honored to be your hosts. Together, Joan and I have built a home care agency from a little over $12,000 credit card loan. Okay, some people called it a gamble at that time. We've built it into an 8-figure business serving thousands of families over the years. And now we're here to share the lessons, strategies, and the mindset shifts that help us get there so that you can too.
We launched this podcast because the home care industry is often misunderstood. Too many people don't see the sacrifices owners and their caregivers make every single day, or the powerful impact agencies have on seniors and their communities. And truthfully, we looked around and realized there were not many podcasts out there shining a light on this industry. So we felt called to create the Home Care Millionaire Podcast.
This podcast is designed for the purpose-driven provider. For those of you who feel called to care, but also want to build a thriving, sustainable business. Each week, we're going to share with you real-life stories, proven strategies, and powerful mindset shifts that will help you move from just surviving to thriving.
Absolutely. Our tagline says it best. Compassion is your calling, wealth is your reward. And here on the Home Care Millionaire Podcast, we're going to show you how to embrace both.
So get ready for inspiration, practical insights, and the encouragement you need to impact lives, build wealth, and create a legacy through your agency. So hit subscribe, folks. Join us on this journey to transform your business, your mindset, and your future. Welcome, folks, to the Home Care Millionaire Podcast. Welcome, folks, to the Home Care Millionaire Podcast. Joe, you want to introduce our wonderful guest today?
Oh, what an honor. We have Dr. and Dr. Mrs.
That's right.
Wow, we are so honored to have you join us today, Dr. Dyllis and Dr. Jacob Minang of Optimal Home Care. So, our audience is already excited to hear the nuggets of wisdom you're going to be sharing with us today in your journey in Optimal. So,
I want to just say this, though. These folks, to our wonderful audience, you guys are in for a treat. This is a powerful couple who've built a thriving home care or home health business. They're going to tell us more. And they keep reinventing themselves, I can say. They've done so much, impacted lives. They care. These folks care. You know, I think that's the thing I like about them. I respect so much about them is that they care. They're about serving. And their life reflects that. And that's, I would also say that the success and growth of their business has been because of their heart. Yes. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Jacob Minang and Dr. Mrs. Minang. Welcome to the Home Care Millionaire Podcast.
Thank you. This is such an honor sitting here and working with you guys and having this conversation with you. It seems like it's been long overdue.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you guys for putting this together because, like you said, there's a lot of misconception on what home health should be like. Oh, a lot of people I encounter think, okay, you can just register it and you're good. Yes. Once as you've registered, you're good. You can start making money, but there's a lot that goes into it.
Right. Yeah, so thank you. Really excited to be on this show, as Dyllis already mentioned. And again, this show, you guys starting this show is more testament to who you are, the fact that you care. You didn't only care enough to start a home care business with almost nothing and grow it because you wanted to take care of people. But you see other people out there struggling to start the same business and get into the same industry, and you want them to get it right, not only for their own success, but also for the well-being of the people that are eventually going to be responsible for their care. Right. So it's really a privilege for you guys giving us the opportunity to come on the show to share the little that we have learned in the course of building our own business.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you. Only bring the best.
That's
and
right.
you top notch. So that's why we are so excited to hear from you today. Right. So why don't you share with us your journey from the start? How did you get into home health that you do? Home Optimal. I know you wear so many hats.
Right.
But we'll zoom into the just home care piece of our life. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So Dyllis, you take it from here.
Yes. I wouldn't say this was an inspiration that started when I just turned 18.
Okay.
and I went to do a home health 19. Sorry, 19.
Okay.
I went to do a CNA class in
Okay.
Houston with a Nigerian lady who had a home care business and was training CNAs. But when I went for her CNA class, I didn't know she had a home care business. But she trained us
Okay.
and then turned around and hired us to go take care
Wow.
of those that were in her home health business.
Correct.
And it was such an inspiration for me that I kept saying, I will do this someday. I'll do
Yeah.
this someday. Bear in mind, back then, I didn't even have one prerequisite to get into nursing school yet. But I
Okay.
kept saying, I'll do this someday. But that's how getting into home health started. And then from
Wow.
there, I got into nursing school. When I was graduating nursing school, I was blessed to be in that program with Ma Jane Awesome, doctor.
Okay.
She,
Okay.
when she, I had also known her from childhood.
That's
So
right.
when I was graduating, I approached her, and I knew she was in home health. So I approached her that I wanted to start a home health company. She said, "Well, my daughter, in this state, it's kind of complicated. You have to start as a RSA
That's
before
right.
you get to home health." So she
That's right.
kind of showed me the rope, and that's how we started.
Oh,
Wow.
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 That inspiration from
Wow.
CNA school, and look at you
Wow.
all today.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Wow. So
That's
how about your early days? How was it starting out?
Okay, so I probably can take that. So take note that this
okay.
is describing from when she's only first year college and barely studied any prerequisites in nursing. And so by the time she's
Nursing.
out of
That's
nursing
right.
school, it was pretty clear for her 3, 4 years down the road what she wanted to do. So once out of nursing school, she literally worked just for a year.
Uh-huh.
But those first few
Okay.
years were yeah, and those first years were quite a struggle because while she on the clinical side had it was very clear eyed on the fact that she wanted to care for people.
That's
Neither of
right.
us had ever run a business. So we had to
Mm-hmm.
learn the hoops of running a business. And the first example I can
Yes.
give to you where we struggled was something that you probably laugh at now looking back. We didn't understand the difference between what you pay your employees and what your net income is. We did not realize that there were taxes that were stuck in between. Okay. And so when they tell you that the reimbursement back there was
I hear.
$12.50 for Medicaid, we thought we were making $12.50. So we're paying our caregivers $9 and we thought we were making $3 and change. Turns out a
Oh
month down the
no.
line after payroll, I realized I was making less than $1, which means you had to build
Oh
volume.
no.
But you
So
have
that
to
was
give
like that was kind
Jacob,
of like
you
a
have to give
reset.
it the drama that it brought.
Right.
Okay, so this is like 3 months in, and then the federal government said
We start receiving tax
the
notices.
state sent you a notice. You didn't file taxes, and then the federal
Okay.
government
Oh
sent you.
no.
You did not
Yeah.
file. What do they call it? The
The 941s,
nine
the
forty one.
withholding taxes.
That's
Yeah.
what
So we
Not
learned the
even
hard way.
withholding. That's the problem. We were not even
Wow.
withholding.
The
We
whole
were just going.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. Let me ask you this. Were you guys at W-2 at that point, or you were 1099?
So
Yes.
we started from day one as W2, but trust me, it's not like we
Oh,
knew a
good.
lot of difference
Good.
between
Good.
1099.
Exactly. Okay. Wow.
It was just a lucky draw that we did the right thing when
I,
we look back.
That's
I
right.
also want to commend Sister Flor and the husband. What's that?
Yeah, the
Uh,
Tinongs,
the
the Tinongs.
Tinong,
Yes,
sorry. I
yes,
also
yes.
want to commend the
Okay.
Tinong because
Yes.
They helped
they
us
are
Yes.
on the
the
Yes.
ones
clinical
that
side
help
with the
policies and procedures. So they got us started,
Oh
but
wow.
they had told us
Wow.
about the 1099 process and the W-2.
Yes.
Around that time, Maryland was cracking down on those that had 1099s. And so we heard some
99.
stories.
right,
So
Yes.
from the very beginning, we said, no, we'll just go.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for
right.
you.
But not
So it
knowing
was only
what we don't.
Yes, not knowing
right.
we're holding.
Well, we actually had those withholdings, but because of the way we had our payroll system set up, then it was set up with a bank system, unlike when you
Mhm.
later on. So the bank was doing the withholding, but it was our responsibility to pay to the
To
state and
make the
federal government
payment.
to make the
Got it.
payments. Yeah.
Got
And
it.
remember, unlike you
Got
guys,
it.
it's not like the money was even there. We started from paycheck to paycheck. Okay. So we're
Wow.
building the business
Wow.
with our regular job pay, so while holding 2 regular jobs for at least the first
Okay.
full year for
Okay.
Dyllis and the first 5 years for myself. So I held a
Wow.
full-time job for
Wow.
5 years on the side, and Dyllis held a
Wow.
full-time job for a year and a half on the side.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
That's dedication.
Wow. No, it is. I mean, I'm going to say this though, Jacob. That speaks a lot about you guys. That speaks a lot about your drive. Really. I mean, you saw something. You had a vision, and of course, thanks to God, I'm sure,
I
this,
was
of
just
course,
gonna say, don't give that much credit to us.
God, really, God, yeah,
Yes.
because yeah, exactly, because you stuck in there. I mean, it's interesting because, and I'll just talk about like our story was sort of similar. You know, I mean, as you know, being immigrants, it's kind of hard to get this information, right? Which we all
Yeah.
are. We're blessed to be,
Yeah.
Right.
and you know, we're blessed because it's a virtue. I like it's a big virtue. And when Joan and I started years ago, we were like, it was by the grace of God. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm just mimicking your story here. By the grace
Right.
of God, because we got in. You know, we're all in both in IT,
Yeah.
and but Joan kind of felt that Joan had done some nursing work as a CNA, an LPN too. So she was like, you know what, honey, because we always wanted to be in control of our own destiny, wanted to
Right.
own something, want to be of
Yeah.
service, want to do
Right.
something,
Right.
you know, because we figure, hey, this is America, the
Yeah.
land of business, capitalist, right? So what can we do to be part of this capitalist system, right? That
Right.
was our big thing. We started looking. And you know, the only thing we knew, I mean, we again God's grace sent us to a franchise. So, but once we got in there, you know, and we bought up the 12,000, a little about 12,000, we got it from a credit card loan. Now we didn't really have money. We had two full-time jobs. IT. I mean, when we got those IT jobs, I mean, we thought we were really top of the hill.
Cream.
Now, I mean, hey,
Corporate America.
exactly. We could
Yeah.
pay our rents with one person's check. Boy, that had never happened. Because
Yes.
before we used to put our checks together to
To
pay,
pay rent. Yeah.
you know, so you can imagine. So I was just saying that, but we saw something, just like you guys saw something, and we kept going. And I really want to applaud you guys for the sacrifice because you know, Jacob and Dyllis, a lot of people don't look at it that way at all. I mean, for
Yes.
Jacob to be working for 5 years while still growing the business, and then
Yeah.
for you to be holding a full-time job, that's unheard of. I
Yeah.
just want to just throw that in there. But please, Jacob, please go ahead. So you kept going for 5 years.
So you can imagine, therefore, working 8 hours and then running a business. And you know, starting a business, the first few years, you work 12-hour days on the
Oh,
business.
yes.
You do.
So there's a 12 hours on the business plus the 8 hours on a regular job. So my weekdays were 20 hours. And then it's in the weekend that I was able to get a little bit more sleep.
I remember he used to come back from work and stop at the office and then work all the way, especially
Like
on
10, 11.
the days before payroll, because he did payroll.
Yeah.
The beauty was we could really just down the line know who's had a strength in what. He had a
That's
strength in administration. I had the strength in clinical. I could go out and do the nursing work, but someone had to
okay.
do the billing and make sure it was done. Someone had to do the
Yeah.
payroll and make
Yeah.
sure it was done. Someone had to pay the taxes.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And so he figured all that out and did it. So he had
Wow.
to the beauty is all of that he could do at night when we were all gone.
Yeah.
So very early on, we embraced electronic systems. So then I took the
Okay.
time to build the
Yeah.
payroll system, the accounting
Okay.
system, the HRA system. So that when we're
Okay.
hiring people now, we're just handing that over to them.
And I have to say that right there brings me to why, in most part, why we succeed. The electronic system, the
Wow.
electronic system is why we succeeded, and it's
Wow.
why we ended up with a third partner in our business. I don't know
Okay.
if you know that.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
a third
Yes.
we have a
Yes.
third partner in our business, and
And he managed all the IT
he
resources.
he
Wow.
brought in that piece of the business and has just made. That's why we grew. That's why we did all that. We've been able to be
Awesome.
successful because,
Awesome.
and I say that for partnership because our people don't necessarily give worth in partnership. And for me, I think this is the reason why you should partner. When you have someone that has the strength that you don't have, you partner with that person. And
Right.
when you guys start and you're just barely making it and there's nothing to share,
Yes.
partnership is usually good. The problem is when there's something to share
Yeah.
and you start having
And
problems
that's where the
about it.
struggle comes in here.
But
Yes.
I always say to people, at that time, you should ask yourself, if this person 1% was not there, would we be here?
Good point.
So their 1% could be what your 90%
That's
or
right.
your 99.
That's
So
right. That's right.
that's just something about partnership that we
Yes.
need to learn to cultivate amongst ourselves.
100%. No, now I'm with you. I was just going to add also that you're so right because it's the value that they bring to the table.
Yes.
Correct.
You know, is that value? I mean, you know, like you said, we're very a lot in our culture. We don't really like partnerships because someone said the only ship that will not sail is a partnership.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about difficulty of partnership, because as you know already, it's difficult enough running a business as husband and wife.
Yes.
But you have to realize that in any relationship there are going to be difficulties. So you make up your
100%.
mind about, you have to be on the same page about the goal. Then you manage the conflict, because you know you don't have a choice. It's when you're not on the same page about the goal, and then you walk away the minute there's a conflict, instead of trying to figure out a way to manage the conflict. Why moving towards the same goal? Yeah.
Jacob, that's so true.
Yeah.
And with both of you being a couple, how did that pan out? Especially in those early days, someone is staying late in the office working, someone is home taking care of the household chores and maybe children. How did you guys survive? Because sometimes it can be really challenging. We went through our share of challenges as a couple. So we'd love to hear.
Before Jacob says something, I could share a story here. This is one of the stories we share a lot. So there's this day I've sent out a nurse and paid her the entire amount. Actually, this is a nurse.
Oh, well, we're being reimbursed. You offered that to somebody, not even counting taxes.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. But I was desperate.
Yeah.
I was desperate. I needed someone to go see that client.
That's right.
So
That's right.
this nurse, it was a home health job, but this LPN said she was
care, but
going
she sent
to
a
go.
clinical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I sent her and I paid her everything. So Jacob comes. This was like 2 weeks before. So Jacob comes 2 weeks later and it's time to pay. And he realizes that he's paying this nurse every single thing.
Not even including taxes. So this is costing us more than we're making, actually.
Exactly.
So he makes the payroll and then comes home and wakes me up from sleep.
Wow.
This is like.
Take note, I come back around 1 o'clock.
Yeah, midnight, 1 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's the second job for me. She's already done her.
Yes.
So he wakes me up from sleep and I wake up and he lectures me about sending a nurse out and paying her all that. And I'm like, and then when he's done, he had to get it all out of his system, right? When he's done, he's ready to sleep. He sleeps. I sit there, I'm tossing and turning. 3 a.m. I'm still tossing and turning over this whole tongue lashing I got.
She take her own turn to wake me up at 4 o'clock.
I love that.
Wow.
I woke him up. I'm like, if this is gonna continue, we are not gonna be married.
That's right. It's a challenge. It is a challenge.
Then we talk through it, and that's the key: talking through it.
Sometimes you have to have the problem first. So sometimes you have to have the problem first before you back up and come up with a solution on how to manage a similar problem in the future. What happens to some people is that with that problem, they walk away from it.
Yes.
But you need that problem first. It's like they're going through a pruning process.
Exactly. No, you're so right. And it's interesting. And like you started from the get-go to say that you guys had never run a business together before. No. So, hey, same here. You know what I'm saying? We've done some Amway and this, that, the other. It wasn't a real business. We don't think, But when you do a run where you have to pay taxes, you respond for people, you have to have some follow rules. It's a whole different. And you guys, you're right. You guys sort of. I think the big thing is that, like you guys said, it's just that you. And I have to commend the marriage too, because if the marriage is strong, it will survive anything, right?
Yep.
I think that's the big thing in there, and we you guys are a testament to, just the fact that say, hey, it's not, because what we try to do for us, and I think I shared that with you guys, and I will share that with you guys a little bit here. We found out pretty quickly, just like you guys did, who was strong with certain things, who was not strong with certain things. Yeah. Administratively, that's where I am, now. The clinical and some other stuff, handling people, that's where Joan is strong. So pretty quick, we already knew that, so they knew that they needed to talk to someone. I just knew, because you learn, because we know that going in, we kind of knew what we did not know, right? We knew there's a lot of stuff we did not know. So I was willing to learn. It was, but like Jacob said earlier, that it's sort of a pruning process. You have to be willing to learn. When you're working with people, especially what we do, we have to give ourselves grace. I try to say it all the time. You have to, because Dyllis did not know what she did not know. She felt, well, I need to get this nurse to do this. Hey, whatever it takes to get her to do the job, right? But Jacob's like, wait a minute, this thing is upside down. Come on, now.
I want to pay this.
So it's but like you guys say again, it could really be, what, like you guys, I think the big thing to take away for couples is that I think this is also something that, can also bring a couple even stronger together.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Because you're
absolutely.
fight, because you're fighting a common battle, don't you guys think? I mean, I'm sure
Yeah,
it's
we have
giving
a
you guys
common
more
goal.
strength.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
And the common battle is what keeps you together. And I think that in life, when you look back, you thank God for the challenges you've had, because
Yes.
we had
Yes.
the experience of fighting a common battle before we got to
There,
know it
that's
was
it.
That's
very
true.
That's
easy
it.
to realize to focus on we have a common battle that we're fighting, and
Yes.
it was we weren't
Yes.
fighting each other, but
No.
a lot of it was God's grace, just God's grace,
Yes.
Amen. Amen.
opening our
Amen.
eyes in
Amen.
things differently.
And to your point, it has
Yes.
spilled into our personal life too in a very positive way, because when you fight in the business, sometimes it's clear what the goal is so that you can realize that we're trying to come up with the best solution.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
sometimes now, even in life, battles in our personal life, we usually have to stop back and ask ourselves, what is the goal? Because when
There
you
you go.
define the goal, then it makes the fighting easier to manage, because then you realize, oh, we're trying to come up
Yes.
with the best possible solution.
Yes.
The problem that happens in
Yes.
personal
Simply.
relationship is you don't even know what the goal is, and they end up attacking each other
Yeah. Yeah.
and
What are we fighting
forgetting why
for?
you were fighting for.
Right?
Exactly, forgetting what you were fighting for. Yeah.
Yeah, you talked about utilizing your system very early on. Can you share with us and our audience here a little bit more about technology? How technology has really helped with efficiencies, maybe with productivity? How do you use technology in your production, in your home care business?
So I wish Isidore was here. He's been
That's
Bimaka.
all
He's
right.
been the one that has really carried that 1/3 of the business that really moved the
Okay.
Yeah.
whole business
Okay.
from day
Okay.
one, with setting up our phone systems, making our
Okay.
different systems stocked and integrate with each other, from the payroll to accounting, all of that. But Isidore is not present. Dillis, actually, you'll be surprised, it's not me. It really carries the IT piece of the business. So
Wow. She wears a lot of hats.
Dillis, yeah, yeah.
So the good part, the good thing with me and Isidore is that I can dream up what I want the IT system to do,
To be.
and he
Okay.
can find it. He can source it and
Wow.
find
So
it,
sick.
and he will be
Wow.
able to bring
That is
it to
good.
the table. So
That
I
is
think
good.
that was really what helped. But starting from the very beginning, Continued Link was the first portal we brought on.
The electronic medical records
Yes,
system.
Okay.
and that was just coming from the fact where after a year and a half into this, we went to an accreditation with
Okay.
UAC. When we did the
That,
UAC
that was with CHAP at
accreditation,
that time. That was with CHAP.
sorry, with
Okay.
CHAPS, sorry, with
Okay.
CHAPS.
Okay.
No, it's not with CHAPS.
That was with CHAP. Home care.
Was it CHAPS? Oh
Yes, CHAP.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, CHAPS. UAC is
Okay.
case management.
The capital home care. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with CHAPS, and when we did that, it was difficult for us to get notes on time. So
Okay.
coming out of that, I knew that we needed a different way to be able to store, keep those notes, store them, and everything. And thank God, at that time, we only had like 7 clients.
Mm.
Okay.
Thank God we did, because it was a struggle to get Jacob to agree, first of all, because this was going to be a $500 a month
Oh,
payment to bring in
For
continually.
14 years ago, when our revenue was what at that time?
Yeah, I bet.
Yes, but he did, and we concluded that system. And just as the weekend we finished bringing on that system, we got a call from another county that the provider there
An agency
was
was going down,
getting
and they had
shut
like 20
down.
clients to transfer.
Yeah, they had to transfer 20
But that
clients.
was
And
only possible because we had an email that can absorb
yes,
that. We could not go do that with pen and
ah,
paper.
yes,
okay.
and we were able
Okay.
to integrate those people into a system, get them in, train everybody, get everybody done, and they didn't have to be driving. Imagine if those people from 45
The-
minutes away
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
drive to bring their
No, I
pay
know.
stubs to
Good to
us,
see you.
their
Yeah.
timesheets and all that. So
Yes.
then one other thing that we did from the very beginning is learn to become our own fingerprinting
Okay.
provider.
Okay.
So
Background check for all our
yes,
staff.
Good for
yes.
you.
So we
Yes.
so we
Wow.
were able to do that, and then just rolling from there. Once as we brought in Continued Link, we wanted to give our nurses computers. So Isidore figured out the cheap way to do that.
Okay.
We had to have a 1-800 number. Isidore figured out the cheap way to.
Wow.
So it was just
Wow.
like we were able to get all those things in at very cost efficient solutions. Yes, and that was the beauty about having an IT partner.
That is
Wow.
wonderful.
That's
Let me
amazing.
just ask you guys this along the same lines. Do you guys do any outsourcing in terms of using what is that?
Remote
Remote
work.
workers? for your business? Because I
Well,
don't.
yeah. So of course, with personal care, you have the client, the people have to be physically in there. But yes, on the administrative side, we've done some outsourcing. We've done outsourcing on
Good.
the accounting side. We've done outsourcing on the marketing side. We've
Okay.
done outsourcing on the HRA side, and also we've done some outsourcing on the quality assurance side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Good.
we've had people work from us in the Philippines, in Washington State, in
Yes.
the Pacific Northwest, in New York State, in Ohio. But
Good.
all our field staff have to be local because
Of
you
course.
physically interact with the clients. Yes.
Of course.
Good deal.
Yeah,
Good
but
deal.
the
Yes.
back end things we've used people from very different places. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes,
That's good. That
wonderful.
I mean, because that will
Wow.
that will help operational efficiency, which is because when you're IT, I'm looking at that side of it too. Wow,
Right.
wow, that is awesome. That's awesome. So, any challenges along the way? I know we've talked about a bunch of different things here. Have we had any challenges along the way? I mean, Dyllis and Jacob.
Maybe you can touch on the caregiver side, the staffing side. Oh, hold on 1 second, Jacob. I think Dyllis.
She will be back.
Okay.
Jacob can go ahead while we wait for Dyllis to. We lost her.
Okay.
Yeah. You can go ahead. You can go ahead, Jacob.
So I hope it's not a power issue, but she's trying to come back in.
Maybe so she can come in. They'll cut this part out.
Okay, Jacob, let's just hold on just 1 minute.
I want to wait, yes, so that we can have everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Let me pause this.
And home great, Joni, you want to just ask this question?
Yeah. So in home care, of course, we all face different types of challenges, and the talk of the industry right now is the caregiver shortage. Is that impacting your business in any way? And if so, how are you working around it?
Yeah, it's been a struggle with caregivers, especially on the personal care side. So number one, it has to do with the fact that a lot of people that work in personal care, they're transitioning in life. So you maybe have people that just got out of high school, they're in college, they're going to school. That's not a future for them. That's not a career.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of unreliability there because one, that's not where they plan to end.
Correct.
And then sometimes you're also dealing with young people that are immature. Sometimes they work only when they need the money.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's when you actually have this language in home care where you say no call, no show. You don't hear that for people that have license that are licensed. It does not just show up. But it's a thing that we actually say no call, no show, where a caregiver does not call you that they're not going to go to the client's home and they don't show up.
That's right.
And you only find out when the client calls you, and then you're scrambling to fill it. And that's why it's situation like that where Dyllis ends up doing what she did, where she feels like it's important to fill the shift.
Yeah.
And even if it means losing money on that shift, so she can keep the client long term.
That's right.
So that has been our biggest struggle with caregivers. So the caregiver shortage is not because people are not out there that are willing to do this, but you're dealing with a pool of people that are mostly transitioning, and that's not where they want to stay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
The turnover that's for caregivers, but for nurses, turnover was high. But I think at some point we figured out that a lot of people, it's not about the money. It's about the way they're being treated, the person-centered way in which you approach their employment with you. And so we really went through this mindset shift in our company in the last 6 years, where we wanted to become person-centered for our employee. We at some point we went through we actually had a workshop where we worked it out to figure out that our client as a company was our employees.
Yes.
At least the field staff, the people that directly provide care to.
Yes, those were our clients. And so just like we want them to be person-centered towards their client in the field, we as employers needed to be person-centered towards them. When you start understanding what is going on in their life, you have less no call, no shows. So it kind of flowed into the personal care side, where it's better for you to tell me, Dyllis, I'm not feeling like I have a good day today, so I don't think I will go tomorrow, or I have somewhere I need to be tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to go. It's better for you to tell me than for you to be afraid to tell me thinking I'll write you up.
That's right.
And then you don't show up. Yeah.
That's right.
So I like your perspective. I like how you guys, with that mindset shift, look at it from a different angle. In fact, I just did a video the other day titled "No Caregivers, No Growth." Yeah. And I was thinking exactly what you guys are talking about. It's not, yes, there are people who are going to work for Amazon, the Walmarts of the world, and so forth, but then there are still many people who want to work.
Yeah.
Of course, we're dealing with those who are looking at home care as a stepping stone to nursing school or to whatever medical school and so forth. But there are still some who are compassionate and they see this as
You
their
want to stay there.
Yes.
So to us, it's the environment that you create for your
Yeah.
caregivers or for your
Yeah.
employees to stay. That environment that they know that they are respected, they are not just a number out there in the field. In fact, that's what our premise when we got into home care, because I had been a caregiver myself, I had been a nurse, and I knew what it felt like. And to
Yeah.
us, our primary focus was building up that employee so that they can be who you want them to be, to represent you, to be your brand ambassador for your clients.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Our principle is a happy employee makes a happy client.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited that there are people out there like the Minang
Of course.
Optimal Home Care
Of
who
course.
see it from that perspective
Of
as
course.
well. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah.
I was just go ahead and I'll add
No,
something.
it's not. I mean, you would not last long in the business, not more than a couple of years, if you don't figure out pretty quickly that your people, which means your field staff, are your true commodity, and they're people they have to invest in the most, not just in scheduling them and making sure that their paperwork is correct, but actually knowing what is going on in their personal lives,
That's right.
building personal relationships, building teams that talk to each other and
Right.
care for each other, so that at some point the caregivers will actually be able to tag team and they help each other out. They do their sub with each other without you having to step in and trying to fill a shift, because then they can talk to people to cover up for them and things like that.
Wow.
But you have to build a team and be persistent, understand what is going on in people's lives, make people feel like they're cared for as well.
Yes. No. So, in fact, what you said, Jacob, is so true. Because and Dyllis also what you guys, because as I often said, is people don't care how much you know how much you care.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
If you don't care enough, hey, there's so many agencies out there. But why are they coming to Optimal? Why are they coming to us? Because you care, because you show that there's somebody.
Yeah.
Because guess what? The same dollar we're paying them, the same dollar they're gonna get someplace else. So why are they coming to us? I mean, we have to. Exactly. I think the big thing to just to add to what you guys have said, which is so powerful. We just have to learn to love on these people.
Exactly. Yes.
Because a lot of folks don't get that out there. You're a number, like Joan talked about. Her experience was she was a number. They called you when they needed you. But and so if you take it personally, where when someone walks in, you take a liking, you get to visit with them. They have a check issue. Like one of my pet peeves we have in our office is that every caregiver's got to get their money. I mean, if the caregiver calls, say, somehow my check did not get to me. I mean, we do electronic, so they get it right in the bank. But way back when, we have a few people who prefer paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like paper too. So
I have had to drive across the state to go hand and employ a paycheck.
there you go.
Yeah, a lot more in gas to make that drive than that paycheck.
There you
Right.
go.
Because we knew we knew what it means for them
Yes.
to not be able to pay their bills on payday.
Yes,
Wow.
but she needed her paycheck, and so he had to go give it.
Wow.
And it was more important for her to get her paycheck on that day.
Wow. No, I gotta say that speaks a lot. And I think also that being people of faith, which we all are here, I think when you pour on other people, especially who cannot do anything for you, because these folks can't do anything for you. You know what I'm saying? They're not paying for your gas to come all the way across the state,
absolutely not.
right? So when you pour on this, the lesser of us, you get that reward back. I mean, that's why you guys are successful. I believe that's a big part of it. You're pouring on these people. Yeah.
Because people always say thank God, and they say it in so many random things. And blessing unto you if someone said thank God because of something you did. Yes. And that's what we miss.
Yes.
So, and we're called to give to those that cannot give to us in return. That's how you store your riches for the
100%.
future.
100%. I'm with you. 100%. Wow. Thank you. That is thank you guys. I was gonna say that. I mean, how do you? I know with what we do, and John and I in that situation too. How do you maintain a healthy work-life balance? And having this entrepreneurial spirit, the spirit of service, the spirit of just providing the kind of quality of care that you guys provide to the folks that have been called to serve, the seniors and the team members also. How do you manage that healthy work-life balance in your lives?
For Jacob and I, it's really been a spirituality. That's what starts our day. We wake up in the morning and we spend time in front of God. We pray with each other. We pray for each other. We pray for our employees. And when we go out there, it's a matter of what I'm doing for this employee. Is it what God is calling me to do? And that's how, and so when we expect them to be out there working, it should
Yes.
also be a time that we can be out there working. So a lot of the times, there are times when we've turned down business because it was just outside of the hours that you can ask an employee to go to. It would be putting that employee way out of their way. And I think that
Wow.
just understanding that the family for us was really a very important thing, making sure that we were present with our family. I have to say, the first 2 years we started this, we always say that our first son was a lot of, I mean, he was raised by our nanny, our first son, because we
Wow.
had him around the same
Wow.
time the business started.
You
And
started
so
business. Oh,
we would do something different. We would change. 2 years into the business, someone that came to take care of him was wise enough to point out to us that we were sacrificing our son for the business. And so we turned
wow.
around and we just changed our lives and made ourselves more person centered too towards us. Our family came
Yes.
first. Our employees also have to have family. Their family comes
Yes.
first. All we
Yes.
want is open communication and we will make it work. And I think that's how
Awesome.
we balance it.
Yeah, so
Wow.
just to add to that, so what we've really done over the years is to be very intentional or come up with some family rituals that are sacrosanct. So long as we are in
Okay.
town, we have dinner, sit down dinner with the kids every day.
Good
There's
for
no
you.
moving that. And we start dinner as a family between 5 and 6 p.m. Everybody's on the dinner table because that's
There
when we
you
get caught
go.
up with what's happening in their lives. So something doesn't
Yes.
happen and you get caught off guard 3 months down the line that your kid was involved in something. So we know about their
That's,
physical health, their mental health, and their spiritual health in real time. So that for us are
wow.
concerned. So if we're not having dinner with the kids, even when we're not home and we're out of town, they know when it's dinner time and they will sit with grandma and have dinner at that time.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's just one
Wow.
example.
Wow.
That's just one example of a family ritual that we have. But
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
of us, yes.
yeah, that is wonderful. That is wonderful. Wow, congrats. Well, I tell you what, I'm not gonna any parting nuggets. I think we've kind of, really gone around the gamut of your story, your journey, your successes, your challenges, and learned so much. Any parting nuggets that you want to leave with our audience for folks who are just getting into this or who are in it and having some challenges or couples working together? I mean, are there any nuggets you want to just leave with our audience today, Jacob and Dyllis?
Yeah, so I'll just say a few things and then maybe Dyllis might add. So number one thing is recognize that, especially if you're an immigrant starting a business in the United States, that you only know so much. Sometimes I make a joke that you only know enough to be dangerous. So be open-minded and be
True.
open to learn. So reach out to resources, reach out to other people that have done what you're planning to do and you think that are successful and ask them how they did it. Hook up with organizations that bring together business owners and attend those meetings. You learn a lot. Our business was transformed the last 8 to 10 years because we joined an organization called CEO Focus, Global CEO Focus, that brings together business owners that are between the $1 million and $50 million range. And we meet on a monthly
Yeah.
basis as business owners and share our trials and tribulations and share resources and share our gains. And then we also do one-on-one with somebody that has been in the banking system for more than 30 plus years. And he comes and
Wow.
meets and talks with our upper management, the executive
There you
members
go.
of our business on a regular
Yes.
basis. So you need that. So talk to people ahead of you that are role models, reach out to organizations, ask questions.
Wow.
awesome. That's
Awesome.
powerful nuggets.
Awesome. Thank
I
you.
would just reiterate what John was saying on her show the last time. Your employees are who you need to be worried about. Finances will come as long as your employees are taken care of. So always ask yourself what I'm asking this employee to do. Can I do it? If
Wow.
you cannot do it, don't ask them to do it.
Wow.
And if you can do it, they will respect you because they know that you're there with them whenever they need it. And for in home care, you're in the business of selling people's hours. As a business owner, your employee is taking care of those people, but you are in the business of selling that employee's hours.
That's right.
And so you should be very mindful about your product and who are you working with. And I think if you take that mindset to, can I do what I'm asking them to do? You'll be successful.
And so that, therefore, Dyllis, I mean, you have to make sure that your employees are properly trained.
Yeah.
They know what they have to do. They know the rules and
Exactly.
regulations. They know what resources to turn to within the company if they don't have the information they need.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yes. Wow.
Amazing.
Awesome. Now that you guys have said it all. I will just add on to a little bit. It says that, like you guys have said, it's about service. You know, we just have to care enough, right? Because oftentimes what I realize is that some folks get in, they're looking for the money, like we talked about earlier. They forget the most important thing, service. If you know, in fact, one of the things that got us going, when we got started, we had this so-called big time jobs that we thought it was big time.
Right.
That's what we thought. I mean, IT, you know, and so
it's still big time jobs right now. You know, people are still getting big time jobs.
Back then, we thought, because we could pay our rent on one person's check, so we thought it was a big deal.
Right.
And so it was a big deal back then for us. So it was interesting because when one of our founders told us, because we're concerned, Joan was like, "Are you sure this can really help us? We're going to make money doing this?" And the man said one thing, we're never going to forget. His name is Jeffrey. He said, "Joan, Paul, just do the work. If you do the work, the money will come." Yeah. So good job. So, you know, the thing, I want to just close this up by saying it's about service. You know, absolutely. It's about service. We can make money. Folks get paid for McDonald's, Amazon, whatever. But why are we doing what we do? We want to serve. We want to make sure that we leave that client better off than we met them. Right? Yeah. And if we do that, and then we do that to our caregivers, like you guys talked about, to the team in the office, we're going to get taken care of.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the Home Care Millionaire Podcast. We hope you found inspiration, encouragement, and practical tools you can apply right away in your own journey. Our mission is simple, folks, to shine a light on the incredible impact that home care owners and their caregivers make every single day, and to give you the mindset, strategies, and faith-filled wisdom to build both purpose and prosperity.
Because here is what we believe. Compassion is your calling, wealth is your reward. If this episode spoke to you, we'd love for you to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you like more resources or have questions for Paul and I, just head over to askjoanandpaul.com. We'll be honored to connect with you there.
Until next time, folks, remember, you have what it takes to build wealth, create freedom, and leave a legacy through your agency. We're here cheering you on every step of the way. Bye for now.